So I want you to ask yourself some questions. How much do your emotions mean to you? Are they often a bother? Do you often think that sometimes you wish you didn't feel some kinds of emotions, like feeling nervous in front of a class when presenting? Or do you feel that they help you to be better? That sometimes you're glad you feel some set of wins in certain moments because sometimes it motivates you or makes you feel happy in some way? So now, do you feel there's kind of both? That there's like a balance between them? Now, what's that balance called? What's the effective use of this balance called? Well, let me tell you. It's called emotional intelligence. Good morning, my name is Jose Salgado, and I'll be guiding you to my presentation about emotional intelligence using athletes as an example to show you the definition of this word. So this leads us to my research question. How does an effective development of emotional intelligence possibly impacts the overall performance in athletes' careers? So now, what is emotional intelligence? Well, according to Mark Backer, a founding director of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence at Yale University, it is our emotional intelligence that gives us the ability to read our feelings and those of others. It also allows us to understand and label emotions as well as express them and regulate them. Now, how does this work? How do we develop emotional intelligence? Well, according to a study from Simple Psychology on how to improve emotional intelligence, to develop emotional intelligence, you need to focus on self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management by practicing active listening, empathy, clear communication, and seeking feedbacks, while also reflecting on your emotions and behaviors. Now, why is this important? Well, according to the same research, emotional intelligence is closely tied to the degree of psychological strength and resilience portrayed by people even when they're faced stressful circumstances, disappointments, and pressure. In the case of athletes, for example, these attributes help them to perform at their best, stay at the top of their game, and push beyond their limits. Now, how does emotional intelligence relate to mental health? I wanted to do a conversation between the college word stimulus photographs from Cephalus.com and the movie Inside Out, which I hope you have seen. In the movie, Riley, the main character, faces trying to be part of the hockey team for her school. And in the movie, she ends up leaving some of her emotions behind, which leaves the core memory islands looking somewhere like this: abandoned, colorless, completely empty. Abandoned is the key part. And what is the effect, Riley, in the movie? She starts to become more stressful, more angry, more emotionally unstable. That's the word. So I'll show you in the next slide why this is a major problem in athletes nowadays. So, while physical skill and training are crucial for sports, we know that, the majority of part of a sport is actually here mental. It's often estimated to be about 80 to 90% of a sport is mental. So how do we know this? A study from Health Psychology Research in 2023 also did a survey on 200 high school athletes from male, female, different ethnicities, different kinds of sports, different places, to see the relationship between stress and sports in that ages. So what does the data show us? The data shows that 91% of the students that took the survey show some kind of stress. More than half go between a little stress and moderate stress. So now, what does not having a good development of emotional intelligence affect athletes or people in general? So the symptoms shown by these athletes were mostly sweating, increase of heart rate, sense of panic, breathing rapidly, and so on. Now, how does emotional intelligence relate to success? How does improving that skill makes athletes more successful? So what do we see in this picture? We see greatness, we see success. We see stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. You get the idea. Now, we often think that they're great majorly because of their talent, their hard work, and the skills, which is also a major part. But what's also one big part is their way of critical thinking, their way of knowing what to do in the worst situations is what makes them the great of their sport. Now, three major points about how emotional intelligence improves career success is understanding emotions, managing emotions, and optimizing performance. Athletes with high emotional intelligence recognize their emotions better and their teammates, coaches, and opponents, which is a major benefit when they're playing. Now, emotional intelligence also allows them to regulate their emotions, stay calm under pressure, and maintain focus even during setbacks. Now, by understanding and managing their emotions, athletes can achieve peak performance and maintain consistency. Take a look at the example from Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, which combined 11 NBA championships, which is a lot. But the key part about them is also between their greatness, because of their talent, skills, and hard work, it's also their mentality. Both players were character type show exceptional mental fortitude and strategy thinking, which makes them way better at those situations than the rest of the teams. That's why they stand out. That's why they're, if not the best of their sport. So, in conclusion, remember that self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management are key for the development of emotional intelligence. Remember that emotional intelligence is crucial for overall health, including mental and physical well-being. And in performance, the decision-making skills and leadership and teamwork ultimately contribute to peak performance and success are all boosted by emotional intelligence. Thank you for your time.
All right, 2 questions for you, Jose. First up,
Yes.
what evidence did you gather that you didn't use, and then why didn't you use it?
I gathered a lot of evidence for the majority of the source I did use, but they included way too complex data that I feel like it would be too much to show, and it would be too complex to understand that I feel like it wasn't going to be able to show my point.
Okay, and what advice would you have for researchers that want to talk about this in the future?
I would advise them to take a look at multiple research, because there's a lot about them in different places. They often do America, they do Asia, they do Europe. I want them to combine all of those into a main point. I also look for simple data that, depending on the people you're trying to show this topic, reflects better on them.